Increasing Sarah's reading comprehension grade equivalent levels using Pearson's iLit 20 program. Many students that have an IEP have a learning disability in reading comprehension. I was looking for an easy-to-use program that will increase a student's reading comprehension levels. Baseline data was taken using the Brigance Diagnostics Inventory Assessment for Reading Comprehension Grade Equivalent. First, I administered the Brigance assessment to determine Sarah's grade equivalency. Once administered over the course of 2 weeks, taken once per week, and getting conclusive results as to where her reading comprehension grade equivalent level was, I was able to move forward into the iLit 20 program by Pearson. The program gave its own formal assessment, and the results were very similar to mine in relation to grade equivalency levels. Once the iLit assessment is complete, the program pre-populates assignments based on Sarah's levels and needs. Sarah would work on the assignments for 20 minutes per day, 4 to 5 days per week. She needed help with identifying main idea and using context clues to determine vocabulary meaning. These were the two areas that she would struggle most in. I could also assign other homework from the program that was suggestion in addition to the pre-populated assignments. iLit 20 also has hundreds of books for each grade level that she can choose to read for pleasure and not just the assignments. Once Sarah started the program, I would administer the Brigance Reading Comprehension Assessment bi-weekly and document the results on a graph. After 5 weeks of using the intervention, Sarah was able to increase her reading comprehension grade equivalency levels from a 5.2 grade equivalent to a 6.0 grade equivalent, or an increase of 0.88 grade equivalency level. iLit 20 is a program that will help to increase a student's reading comprehension grade equivalent level that is at least 4 grade levels behind. There's also iLit 40 and iLit 90. The higher the number, the more intensive and longer the intervention is going to be. I was looking for a program that would increase students' reading comprehension grade equivalent levels. Sarah is a student that has specific learning disabilities in reading comprehension and is roughly 5 grade levels behind that of her peers. This year she's been able to find success in math and enjoys it. When it comes to reading aloud in class or finding information reading the book, Sarah has struggled and would be reluctant to read in front of others. I chose reading comprehension because it is targeted as an area of need for her and many other students with specific learning disabilities. So much of academic learning is done with reading. If a student is not able to comprehend what has been read and then accurately restate the information, then they will not learn the information and be able to reuse that information at a later time when needed. According to the article by Berkeley and Barber 2014, there are 8 million students in grades 4 to 12 struggling to read on grade level. Effective comprehension instruction is top priority for middle and high school teachers. With all the special education students I interact with on a daily basis, about 90% have a reading disability in reading comprehension, basic reading, reading fluency, or a combination of any of them. If a student is not able to effectively read the information that is presented, then they're going to fall behind in class with classes with a lot of reading, such as English, social studies, and science. If a student falls behind early in class because he or she does not comprehend the information that was read, then this is going to make them feel like a failure and they're not going to want to continue with education. Also, if students are unable to read well and struggle in a class, they're more likely to fail a class, thus becoming more likely to not graduate. According to an article by Kearns and Bryan, 82% of students are likely to not graduate on time if they fail an English language arts class in 6th grade or higher. This is a staggering number. If I look at all of my students who have failed an ELA class in high school, then the numbers match up accordingly with the dropout rate. Many students who fail ELA class have a disability in a reading area. That is why being able to read and comprehend what has been read is extremely important. Sarah was a 10th grade student that is 16-year-old from a Hispanic family that speaks very minimal Spanish. She has a specific learning disabilities in the areas of reading comprehension, fluency, basic reading, math calculation, math problem solving, and written expression. She has 4 other sisters. 3 out of the 4 also have at least one specific learning disability with an IEP. She goes to Orchard View High School, which is considered a mid-sized suburb school with 70% Caucasian and 30% minority students. I chose Sarah because she's a hard worker and she has family support at home. She's always in a positive attitude and would be willing to work hard to get the good results that she wants. The baseline data showed that Sarah was at a grade equivalent level of 5.2, meaning she mastered the 4th grade equivalency with 100% of the answers correct and got one question right on the 5th grade assessment. It was difficult to identify any patterns or themes, but categorically she continued to struggle with finding main ideas of both literary and informative text. She also demonstrates difficulty in using context clues to identify vocabulary meaning in passages, both informational and literary. Sarah would challenge herself to do better and better at raising her grade equivalency level to eventually a 6.0 grade equivalent, meaning she mastered the 5th grade equivalent with 100% but did not get any questions correct for the 6th grade equivalent assessment. With the study being a success, I would bring it to the curriculum director to see if there is a possibility to obtain this program for all special education students who work on daily in their homeroom class. I would recommend iLit 20 due to the ease of use and the pre-populated assignments. Also, the ability to assign extra as needed in order for a student to more specifically work on that area of need. I did not expect Sarah to increase almost an entire grade level in 5 weeks. If this rate continued, she would be at grade level reading by next school year. I also did not expect the program to be as user-friendly as it was. The only limitations I found was it is relatively expensive. It costs $32 per student per year, but thankfully I was able to get a free membership through Pearson to use the iLit 20 program. I wish I had a longer amount of time and more time to work with this student as a researcher rather than being a teacher and having to do this on top of everything. So time was an issue and also the expense. Other than that, iLit 20 is recommended to increase reading comprehension levels, and if you can increase that level, chances are you're going to increase reading fluency and basic reading skills as well.